Alongside Jesse Thompson, I'm Austin Price for the S&P Stock Report. On this Kentucky week, we'll start with me. I'll go stock up Bryce Thompson. Jesse, 3 interceptions, playing with a banged up right wheel. Got that big brace on it. Had a really good game on Saturday night against UAB. And realistically, I think not only does well in pass coverage, but also is a really pretty good tackler. So to me, Bryce Thompson is stock up for me this week.
Yeah, career game. Deion Grant, last time Tennessee had 3 interceptions, right?
Yeah, 99 against Auburn.
Big win, big win. Tennessee stock up for me.
Speaking of another long time ago it happened, 53-yard field goal.
That's true, yeah. Who was it?
Jeff Hall, 1995.
There you go, yeah. I mean, Brent Somaglia is all SEC resume right now. That's my stock up. I mean, I think it's going to be between he and Rodrigo Blankenship at Georgia. Somaglia now has kicked 6 field goals over 40 yards, only has 2 misses on the season. He was Tennessee's offense to start the game against UAB.
Yeah.
With their first 2 drives that went for 1 yard and minus 5 yards, and they were bailed out by 2 big kicks. He's been just clutch for Jeremy Pruitt, and somebody that I think Tennessee's head coach really relies on right now to kind of, when the offense stutters, it's all right, we got a guy that can go kick a 53-yarder. So Brent Somaglia is my stock up.
Stock down for me, just red zone offense. I mean, the Vols continue to drive it pretty well 20-20, and then after that,
they got to rely on Brent.
And then he turns into Brent. You're right. I mean, it's a good way to look at it. I mean, they just have struggled in the red zone this year to find touchdowns.
Worst touchdown percentage in the SEC.
Yeah, and to me, if they're going to win a game on the road, which Jeremy Pruitt said on Monday, we've not done that, and they're going to have to do that if they're going to get bowl eligible. It all starts with finishing off drives, capitalizing. And not just, points are points. I get that. Three's better than none. But to me, you've got to get some 7s in there. And Tennessee
can't
get down there to the 9 or 10-yard line and stall out. Stock down for you.
And turn them over. I mean, they've turned it over way too many times. JG had another red zone pick. Stock down for me is just kind of the play of Tennessee's offensive line. I thought they regressed on Saturday. Obviously, they were without their starting right tackle in Darnell Wright. That was a miss. Also did not have Jameer Johnson, but Brandon Kennedy, coming off his co-SEC offensive lineman of the week, had a really tough game. I thought Farrah, number 90 for UAB, gave him fits. Tennessee's tackles, Wanye Morris had his poorest game of the season, gave up a couple sacks. Calbert and Marcus Tatum struggled. It was just a unit that needs a bounce-back performance this weekend against Kentucky. They were particularly porous in the run game. 16 of Tennessee's 33 rushes went for 1 yard or fewer. That's not going to cut it, as again, you got to win on the road. How do you do it? Sometimes it may be some ball control stuff. Tennessee's offensive line needs to show up and kind of rebound.
Stock stagnant, or as I'm going to call this, stock status quo. The quarterbacks, as
shoulder shrug. What's next?
They're all three eligible to play last week. Maurer doesn't get in the game. Jeremy Pruitt says they're all 3 ready to go this week. We'll see if he gets any more reps in practice, because Jeremy, clearly said that was the biggest reason he didn't play last week. So he didn't get enough reps in practice, to feel like that he would be effective against UAB.
Yeah, Jeremy's saying that they may play 1, 2, or 3. Again, I would take the over 2.5 again this week, with one of the halves being Jawan Jennings, and I think Maurer is going to kind of be in place of JT Shrout, but I think the leash is going to be a little bit longer there, and you're going to see Garantano continue to be that 6-man shooter for the Vols.
Yeah, it's a little bit befuddling to me to kind of watch how the rotations happen. To play one series, in comes JG, he plays until he throws a pick, then they start the second half with JT Shrout again. He plays one series, back to JG again. It just, they're getting by, but at some point you wonder if the kind of the path of the quarterbacks doesn't come back to hurt Tennessee in one of these games, whether it be this week, in 2 weeks against Missouri, or to close out the year against Vanderbilt. At some point they've got to kind of, to me, just find a guy and go. And if that's JG, it's JG. Stick with a guy and ride him, and just kind of get behind him and scheme it up to best suit him.
We may find out that it may be Maurer this week. If Maurer's healthy, they may just run with him. But right now, I think the safe bet for all, with the way that Tennessee's kind of had this operation, they're going to play multiple guys.
For Jesse Thompson, I'm Austin Price for the S&P Stock Report on this Kentucky week.